Good Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich in today's Entertainment Spotlight. You've been part of my conversation with Emmy Award-winning home improvement expert and host of George to the Rescue, George Oliphant. You don't want to miss this. Enjoy today's program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In national news, virus fears trigger more holiday cancellations and restrictions. The nation's second largest city called off its New Year's Eve celebration on Monday, and the smallest state reimposed an indoor mask mandate as fears of potentially devastating winter COVID-19 surge triggered more cancellations and restrictions ahead of the holidays. Organizers of the New Year's Eve party planned for downtown Los Angeles Grand Park announced that there will be no in-person audience. The event will be live-streamed instead, as it was last year. In Rhode Island, which has the most new cases per capita over the last 2 weeks, mask or proof of vaccination will be required in most indoor establishments. And in Boston, the city's new Democratic mayor announced to howls of protest and jeers that anyone entering a restaurant, bar, or other indoor business will need to show proof of vaccination starting next month. There is nothing more American than coming together to ensure that we're taking care of each other, the mayor said at City Hall. Much of the fear centers around the new Omicron variant, which scientists say spreads even easier than other coronavirus strains, including Delta, and it is expected to become dominant in the U.S. by early next year. Many details about Omicron remain unknown, including whether it causes more or less severe illness. But even if it is milder, the new variant could still overwhelm health systems because of the sheer number of infections. In New York City, where a spike in infections is already scuttling Broadway shows and causing long lines at testing centers, Mayor Bill de Blasio is expected to decide this week whether the city's famous New Year's Eve bash in Times Square will come back full strength as he promised in November. In the U.S., President Joe Biden planned to address the nation on the latest variant today, less than a year after he suggested that the country would essentially be back to normal by Christmas. His top medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, has promised that the Democrat will issue a stark warning of what the winter will look like for unvaccinated Americans. Cases are surging in parts of the U.S., particularly in the Northeast and Midwest, though it is not always clear which variant is driving the upswing. Data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention from earlier this month found that the Omicron variant represented 3% of new cases. In more national news, Biden boosts fuel economy standards to fight climate change. In a major step to fight climate change, the Biden administration is raising vehicle mileage standards to significantly reduce emissions of planet-warming greenhouse gases, reversing a Trump-era rollback that loosened fuel efficiency standards. A final rule issued Monday would raise mileage standards starting in the 2023 model year, reaching a projected industry-wide target of 40 miles per gallon by 2026. The new standard is 25% higher than a rule finalized by the Trump administration last year and 5% higher than a proposal by the Environmental Protection Agency in August. The move comes a day after Democrat Senator Joe Manchin delivered a potentially fatal blow to Biden's $2 trillion social and environmental policy bill, jeopardizing Democrats' agenda and infuriating the White House. In more national news, jury begins deliberating cop's case in daunte-wright's death. The suburban Minneapolis police officer, who says she meant to use her taser instead of her gun when she shot and killed a motorist named Daunte-Wright, made a blunder of epic proportions and did not have a license to kill, a prosecutor told jurors on Monday, shortly before they began deliberating in her manslaughter trial. Kim Potter's attorney Earl Gray countered during closing arguments that the former Brooklyn Center officer made an honest mistake by pulling her handgun instead of her taser, and that shooting Wright wasn't a crime. In business news, Wall Street joins global slump for stocks on Omicron jitters. Stocks on Wall Street added to their recent string of losses Monday, joining a worldwide slump by financial markets amid worries about how badly the Omicron variant, inflation, and other forces will hit the economy. The S&P 500 fell 1.1% for its third straight drop. The decline followed similar drops across Europe and Asia. Stocks of oil producers helped lead the way lower after the price of U.S. crude fell 3.7% on concerns the newest coronavirus variant could lead factories, airplanes, and drivers to burn less fuel. And finally, in entertainment news, Spider-Man swings even higher at North American box office. Spider-Man No Way Home now holds the title for the second biggest opening weekend ever, behind only Avengers Endgame. Weekend grosses for the third Tom Holland Spider-Man came in even higher than expected, netting out with $260 million from ticket sales in North America, Sony Pictures said on Monday in a revised statement. It's also the best opening weekend ever for Spider-Man films, Sony Pictures, in the month of December. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. All the answers are within you. Many of you seek answers to life questions by looking outside of yourself. You give yourself reasons why you can't have the life you desire. You give other people excuses and reasons for mistreating you or letting you down. Trusting your knowings, God's voice, your inner wisdom, may be awkward at first, particularly if you grew up around people who taught you to always look to others for your own answers. All of us have exclusive access to our inner knowings, to the voice of God. The only thing you have to do is listen. Be patient as you relearn to hear, receive, understand your internal guidance system. When you trust yourself for all your answers, you will instinctively know what is right for you. Today, know the answers you seek can be found by answering your own questions. And remember, enjoy the day.
We are part of my conversation coming up with Emmy Award-winning home improvement expert George Oliphant in today's Entertainment Spotlight. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Emmy Award-winning home improvement expert and host of George to the Rescue, George Oliphant, joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to give some tips for your home as part of your do-it-yourself projects. Here's a bit of our conversation.
You know, you are the guy when it comes to home improvement, so we're so glad to have you on with us. Let's start in the kitchen. I spend a lot of time there with my family. What do you recommend when it comes to taking your kitchen to the next level as we're going into the new year?
I gotta tell you, Cyrus, this is something that has really recently opened my eyes as we've been doing kitchen renovations. Just the amount of different appliances and the way that different appliances work. And the luxury kitchen appliance manufacturer, Signature Kitchen Suite, has introduced a new under-counter convertible refrigerator freezer drawers. Now, these things are total game changers because it's not been done before, and it offers unmatched flexibility. What these two drawers do is they operate independently, so that you can have either two freezers or two refrigerators. It just gives that helping hand to your refrigerator or your current freezer, where those times where you're going to host a party or you're going to do something and you just, the overflow is too much. You're like, where am I going to keep this cold? I got it, whether it's in an old cooler with ice, take that all out of the way. Go and get yourself a Signature Kitchen Suite under-counter convertible refrigerator freezer drawers, because these things are phenomenal. They have 6 different zones. They are so easy to program. You can change it every day if you want to, from -7 degrees to 50 degrees, whether you're keeping seafood or meat cold, or you're just keeping some drinks cold for a party, or you got your kid having an ice cream social and you have so many gallons of ice cream you don't know where to put them. These drawers will take care of it. And the interior metal is beautiful, but it also minimizes temperature fluctuation. So basically, these things check every box across the way. They are literally the helper in the kitchen you didn't know you need, but once you have, you cannot live without.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. But back to you guys on tomorrow's more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.